Well, I do like saying that I was right. And this time it was about Trump and Iran. And it was funny, after I finished filming on Friday, I had people thinking that I wasn't right. But hey, good news is I was, and we'll discuss it. It amazes me how there's always one bad apple. And in this case, the bad apple was in the IDF, and he's making a fool out of the IDF in a situation that unfortunately ends rather badly for him as well. And the left, they keep showing. They just keep doing it. They just keep showing you exactly who they are, and they get away with it. And you have to ask yourself, why do they get away with it? Well, they get away with it because we are stupid. We're just absolutely stupid. And I'm not even just talking about normal people. I'm talking about conservatives too. We're stupid in that we won't force the issue and won't continue to press the point when we see them being blatantly what they are, and won't force the issue. Whenever we have power, we don't seem to want to use it. And on a good note, we do have a good note. The principal who got shot in the leg defending his students from that shooter, was just crowned prom king by his students. The ones he saved. It's pretty cool. Now, this is the ripple effect. And we really try, or rather I really try, to go behind each headline to let you know exactly how it's going to affect you and your life and your family, and how to make a difference. It's not just information for information's sake. It's information so that you can make a change in your life and affect those that are around you, so that we can be better and we can grow and we can do more. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the Ripple Effect. Now, before we continue, let's go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you can, please. That makes a huge difference to the channel. I've not had a subscriber in a while, so if I can get a new subscriber, that would be wonderful. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching and you enjoy it, please subscribe. It does help the channel. First off, Trump and Iran. Last week I had mentioned on Friday, I talked about how Trump was pulling the whole John Paul Jones, and he was blockading England, so to speak, because you couldn't do much in Americas. So John Paul Jones, if you didn't watch my video from last week, great American naval captain, he had broken out of the blockade, and there wasn't much he could do here because there were so many vessels around America. So he ended up going to England and blockading England, causing them to have to pull back some of their vessels back, their ships back to England. And he actually even landed on English soil, which I thought was really crazy. So I did that. I did a comparison between that and Trump, and I said, here's Trump like one-upping the Iranians, because the Iranians are like, hey, we're going to blockade, and you don't got a choice about it. We're going to blockade everyone we don't want going through the Hormuz Strait. And that's it. It just is what it is. And we get to control the Hormuz Strait. And they had a point, because what was happening was they were allowing China and all the places that were giving them resources through. It was just anyone else. And I released this saying it was good that Trump had blockaded back, right? He had reverse Uno carded them and had blockaded the strait back. And by the time I filmed it and released it, my father-in-law had a conversation with him, and he was like, oh, well, didn't you know the strait's open? And I'm like, yeah, I know that it's open for now. I just don't trust that it's going to last. And guess what? It did not last. It did not even last through the weekend before the strait was again closed. And we did some pretty amazing stuff. I watched the video of us putting rounds like from one of our, I think it was a Spruance, the USS Spruance, through the engine room of one of the vessels that we were telling that they couldn't go through the blockade, and they were refusing to listen. So we put some rounds at a pretty crazy distance right through their engine room to shut them down. I mean, it was very impressive. But it's working. This works. You want a regime to collapse. You want a regime to surrender. You take away their only source of income, and it's gone. You can have regime change tomorrow. And again, you don't have to even do all the fights and the battles, because as long as you can prevent their money from coming in, they have nothing to go off of. They have nothing to build off of. Remember this. When people are telling you that what Trump is doing is insane, we're going to have to put boots on the ground, tell them they're stupid. They're asinine. It's retarded. It's never going to happen that way. Never. There's no need to. Why take down a regime when the people are desperate and eager and willing to take it down? We just need to soften them up enough so that they can. And what's crazy is because of the ceasefire that we had, they started digging up a lot of their missile sites that they had. So when they started attacking again, guess what we hit? Even more of their missile sites. It was like, they honestly, this is where Trump is the trump card no one is expecting. All puns intended. Because he's militarily, I really don't think Trump's a brilliant military genius. I really, really, really don't. I think he's a good what do you call that? Not debater. What is it called financially? But he knows how to deal with deals, right? But he's relying on good generals to make great decisions. And we have tactically, and this is what you need to explain to people, we have tactically taken advantage of every move by the Iranians. Every move we have met them and exceeded them. And they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They say, hey, we're calling for a ceasefire. We're calling for a ceasefire. And they call for a ceasefire, and they think they have the upper hand because they say, you know what we'll do? We'll start attacking first. And they play this game all the time with people. And people are like, oh, we remobilized. We were ready. We were waiting. We were watching, ready to take them out. This isn't the game that they're used to playing. It's not at all. Now, the IDF soldier. In Lebanon, there was an IDF soldier who smashed the head of a Jesus statue crucifix thing at a Christian church. I'm not one for symbols, and actually the Bible kind of teaches against that kind of thing, but I understand the problematic issue here. And when you have the horseshoe right, and a lot of people, and again, you have to understand how much the Catholics are in the conservative movement, a lot of them, they are not going to take it lightly doing something like that. And I understand. I think the part that needs to be expressed out here, and I don't think a lot of people are expressing this, but I understand that IDF soldier is one person, right? There's a bad people in every army, in every military. We understand that it's going to happen. And so I'm giving the IDF the mulligan of saying, okay, yeah, but it didn't help. It did not help. And this is where you have to be willing to call out all sides. Because what we do is important, to be honest. Not just one-sided honesty, but both-sided honesty. And there was a bunch of Israelis, I guess, accounts that were coming out and saying, well, this is the right thing to do, to chase away the idols, these wicked idols brought in by the Christians. It's like, oh, why? You're already defending yourselves. Like, we're helping you in every way, shape, and form possible. Why would you make it harder on everyone trying to help you by trying to make it a religious war? And again, I don't know if it was just bad accounts that are pretending to be that way or what, but there was a lot of that going around. And they're dealing with it. Even Benjamin Netanyahu came out and talked about it and said that they're going to be dealing with the soldiers. So it's over to that degree. I mean, in a sense, they're going to court-martial him or whatever for breaking property or looting, whatever whatever they're going to throw at him, it'll be there. Now, what did I mean earlier when I said that the Democrats are not even hiding what they're doing? Last Friday, I talked about the Stop Nick Shirley Act, where they're literally passing an act here in California saying Nick Shirley's not allowed to go investigate the fraud. We don't want Nick Shirley going to investigate the fraud because we don't want them to find out the fraud, so the fraudsters stop giving us support. Not even hiding the issue. But then it gets even worse. There's a guy by the name of Graham Plattner, and you've heard about him if you've heard about any news. He's running for Senate. And he is very famous for having the Nazi tattoo on his chest. Well, it doesn't end there. He did a Hitler-esque salute. From what I'm hearing from the videos, it looks like what they're saying, that it's very much Elon Musk-esque. But you kind of have to wonder when someone is literally got a Nazi tattoo on their chest. They covered up. It's now looks something else. It's totally something else now. But that's not even my main point. It's that the left can do whatever they want and no one will call them out, because they called out Elon Musk over and over and over again for just doing his little my heart goes out to you thing, and they clipped it where it just looked like he was doing the Nazi salute thing, but yet no one wants to talk about this at all. And this is what I hate. Why cannot we go after the Democrats and make it clear? And I understand some conservatives will. But we need to be honest all around. No matter if you're conservative or Democrat, you need to be honest. And it doesn't end there. There's a lady by the name of Mary Moriarty. Now, what's interesting, of course, if you know anything about the Sherlock Holmes people, books, Moriarty is a bad person. Well, in this case, she is too. She's one of the first, I guess, lesbian attorneys in that area of where she's at. And I read it, but I forgot already. That's how bad it is. But this is what she's doing that's causing quite a stir. So in 2017, she oversaw the rape prosecution of a Somali by the name of Mohammed. No kidding. That's his last name, at least. She released him with no jail time. Then in 2025, he raped 2 more people. But instead of focusing on that, and here's the wildest thing, he had raped 5 people, I think, up to this point now in 2025. Been brought before the courts like 3 times, I think 3 separate times. The final time now, I think they're finally doing something about it. I think she let him off again. And because she let him off again, the story here is that the Trump administration's having to go after him with federal charges just to get this guy in jail. By the way, this is the same woman who got a video and said, there are no rape gangs running around our area. Okay. But she didn't want to go after. She's a prosecutor. She didn't want to go after the Somali rapist, right? Who's raped or assaulted or sexually assaulted at least 5 women that we know of. One of them underage. At least one of them underage. But you know what she's doing? They're not even hiding it. She's going after Border Patrol agents. Yep. Oh, not. Is it Border Patrol or ICE agents? I kind of got lost for a second. Sorry. Either one, really, honestly. It doesn't really matter. But yes, ICE. She's going after 2 ICE agents for brutality and assault. Yes, because that's the real problem. The ones arresting the wicked people, those are the issues, not the people that are out there raping women. No. That should be good. We can laugh that off because he's Somali. I mean, what do we expect? Yeah. But no, the ICE agents, those need to be arrested. And she issued warrants for their arrest. Now, this isn't going to really go anywhere. But you want a civil war, this is a great way of starting it. Great way. You start arresting good people for doing the right thing. You're telling us that there is no recourse to law. And I've said this from the very beginning of my channel. You take away the recourse to law, just like the people did to the founding fathers. That's the great way to have a war. It's a great way to It's the only way to really have a war, when you take away the one peaceful recourse we have. And when judges start perverting that, that's when all justice is gone. And there used to be frontier justice that took care of judges like this, unfortunately. Well, and fortunately. Unfortunately, in the bad situations of bad people, but fortunately that, in situations where good people were getting killed too. We don't have that anymore, which is a good thing. We shouldn't want violence on people like that. But we should want justice on people like that. They should be removed and never able to find a job again. What job can you have when you're so perverted, and in this case it's a prosecutor, so perverted you can't even prosecute justice like you're supposed to do? Gone. Removed. Gone. And any judge who wants to go along this should follow the same thing. Gone. And any one of you Democrats out there that wants to keep them in position because, but they're woke and they're lesbian and whatever else. Yeah, you're crap too. You're crap too. Now, as a final thing, to give you a little bit lighter something to your mood, the principal that saved his school by tackling the shooter. And if you haven't seen the video, it's pretty impressive. The guy is not a spring chicken, and he's not exactly a small dude. And he was voted prom king by his students out of gratitude for what he did for them. And it was so cool because a lot of stories don't end this way. But Principal Kirk Moore was crowned the prom king, and he was walking in. He'd been shot in the leg, and he's already, a week and a half or 2 weeks later, bravely walking in to the cheers of the children that are there whose lives he had saved. And I'll tell you right now, I guarantee you this Principal Kirk, a man of integrity, someone who's willing to put his life on the line, and I have known nothing about him. but you're willing to do that, it shows the bravery and the depth of character that you must have. That's a good guy. That's the guy you want the principal of your school. Because that's the guy who physically, literally, will put himself before your children. Or no, other way around. Put your children before himself. And had Principal Kirk been killed in his action and still saved them, he'd been willing to do it. That's what built America. Not Moriarty's, not, the Hitler Nazi Platners. No. These kind of people. If we want to continue having a country, these are the kind of people we need to have, we need to encourage, and we need to support. And we also need to remove the people that are the other ones, as we know. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really, really does help. And I hope we do something useful together by doing this channel. Let's get the word out there so more people can see it. Thank you so much.